Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. It is great to see our attendees filling in here. It's lovely to see you all today. Um, I am Erica Shoemaker. My real name is not Learn 21 Webinar, um, although it's beautiful if your child is named that. And I am the advocacy co-chair here at the EdTech Leaders Alliance. And today I am joined by Sean Whalen, who is our other advocacy co-chair of the EdTech Leaders Alliance, and also the tech director at Garfield Heights City Schools in Ohio, and Stacy Hawthorne, who is our executive director at the EdTech Leaders Alliance. We're going to be talking all things ETLA Conference, and Sean is going to be here to help interview us and talk through what we're doing at the conference. But real quick, while my attention remembers to do it, I'm going to share a couple of upcoming events and things that you can get involved with at the EdTech Leaders Alliance. So we have some upcoming webinars and sessions that you can attend. The first of which is our ongoing webinar series with Bill Fritz, and that is called Diary of a CTO. And the topic is different, I just realized, but you can come to that on Wednesday, October 16th. We also have a really wonderful partnership with ISTE and ASCD, and they will be doing a webinar series in October and November on Ohio's EdTech standards in action. And then if you're interested in receiving an EdTech certified coach certificate, we're partnering with Forward Edge, and you are able to do that with Forward Edge. And all of these opportunities are available on our website, edtechleadersalliance.org. I just put the website in the chat for you as well. So check those out, learn more about them. I'm just doing a quick drive-by to let you know they're happening, but you can learn more on our website about how to sign up and more of the details for each of these events. And last but not least, this is my last time I get to make this plug this year. Our annual conference that we're talking about here is happening in 2 weeks. We're going to dive into more of these topics, but just know we have remarkable keynote speakers. They're well-loved, well-respected in Ohio. We have some of the most fun social events that lead to connections and networking, and it will be lovely and fun, and we will talk more about these. But just know if as we're talking you're like, wow, this sounds like a great conference and I have not registered for it yet, you can do so at learn21.org/conference. And if you're already joining us, let's talk about what we're here to talk about. Let's talk about the conference and everything that you can get from it, or at least part of what you can get from it. And so with that, I will turn it over to my lovely co-host.
It's a pleasure to be here. This is absolutely my favorite conference. It's one of the things that I look forward to every year because of the opportunities. I do feel like with any conference, and I think this is probably where we should start off, whether you're the first time visiting this conference or you are experienced, I feel that sometimes grasping everything that's available at a conference is something that I think we all every year have trouble navigating. The ETLA conference offers a lot, and that's fantastic. Where would you suggest somebody starts if you're coming to this particular conference, especially with the fact that this is second year at a new venue? Where would you suggest that people start if they're coming to this conference for the first time or experienced?
Yeah, I think the first place I would start. So if you're it really depends on what you're looking for. So if you are deep in SB 29 right now, we have a lot of resources and sessions for you. If FERPA, COPA is your thing, if cybersecurity is now on your radar, we have a lot of sessions there. And what I would do is I would go to our conference website, which is learn21.org/conference. And I would go to the full agenda that's there. And if you have a topic that you're seeing a lot in your school, or if you're feeling pressed about, or you're like, I am not an expert in this area, like I understand how to assign my Chromebooks, but the cybersecurity stuff is not what I had reckoned for. There's a topic for you to go to.
Eric, I'll jump in. One of my
Yeah.
favorite things about going to conferences, and probably because in my position I get to go to so many across the US, is really the opportunity to see people like, talk to Sean in person, like talk to you in person. We're all in different states right now, and to have those conversations. And so for me, yes, you hit on all of the reasons people should spend school resources to come to a conference. But the thing that I take away from the conference the most, other than the sessions, is just the opportunity to connect and network with folks. And so the ETLA conference is really rich with opportunities for connection and engagement. So we start on Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock in the afternoon with Top Golf. No sessions before that, straight out Top Golf, come hang out, sodas, drinks, food is included. There's no extra fee for that. And just really get in a group and meet some people and start to have conversations. Obviously, we have social events both nights, but for me, I'm not showing up on Monday morning. I'm showing up on Sunday afternoon so I can start those relationships piece before we even get into the meat of things. So that's the thing I like the most about a conference.
It also adds a lot to the sessions if you do that, because when you attend a session and then you're connecting with people in the hallways afterwards, the nice part is the navigating. There's always tables and locations where you will see people at the ETLA conference that are congregating. And at times you're doing work, you're preparing things, you're sharing things where, I remember last year I walked out with forms that I did not have made yet that came from another school district that they were just willing to share because we came out of a session together and like, well, I've already made that. And having those things, and whether it's new material that you're taking back with you, new ideas from others that you're taking back with you, or even just validation of what you're doing because you're coordinating and collaborating with people who do what you do, that part is just a real key to this conference. And I think this is very well attended, but it also remains intimate at the same time. And I think that's something that the way that it's structured, it maintains that piece. And I think it's really a key part of what makes this conference special is the fact that you see a lot of familiar faces. Great way to make people that you can collaborate with both at the conference and beyond. And that part's been really great for me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
I often
sure.
describe it to people as a like a community college reunion, but in the best of ways. So
Yeah, I was just gonna say Stacy calls it a community college event. I call it a family reunion, but not like a dysfunctional one where you don't want to see like your Aunt Sally, where you actually get to see people that you enjoy and want to spend time with that you haven't connected with in a long time, or at least maybe in a year since the last EdTech Leaders Alliance conference.
What are some things that are new this year that people may not be aware of? You mentioned Top Golf as being one of those pieces, as one of the things that people can do, but there's a lot of things going on at the ETLA conference this year. What are some new things that people should get excited about to come with this particular conference?
My first thought is a fun one. If you are an educator in Ohio, you probably know Ryan Collins, or at least have seen his LED name tag at a conference somewhere. That's that guy. He is wonderful and lovely and fun, and he is hosting karaoke for us the first night, which I had no idea, but now I do. Ohio EdTech leaders and EdTech leaders across the Midwest love karaoke. So I would say that that's definitely something new. So if you have like a go-to song, get ready, pull out your Spice Girls if that's what it happens to be. It might be Backstreet Boys for me. I'm not sure yet. But we will have a great time with karaoke with Ryan. And then on an academic or more learned level, I would say one of the things I look forward to is Mike Doherty from Chagrin Falls he was a great volunteer of the year. I think he was COSIN volunteer of the year this last year. He leads Ohio through the CETL study cohort every year, and he kicks that off at the conference this year. And Stacy knows the exact number, but we have a lot of folks interested in
over
learning.
70 was the last count I got. So I don't know the exact number because it keeps ticking up, but he just won't say no. So over 70 people in the cohort kicking off at the conference.
Yeah. So we're kicking that off, which is going to be great. And then, Stacey, did you have other things that are happening this year that are
Yeah.
exciting?
And I will also add Erica earned her CETL after going through Mike's study group. I earned my CETL after going through Mike's study group. So I highly recommend it. The other thing that's brand new this year, let me back up just a teeny bit. One of the things that we really want to foster at the EdTech Leaders Alliance is to kind of follow the COSIN model, where the educators and the vendor community form a nice ecosystem to make schools and teaching and learning better. And so there are a lot of conferences that you go to that if you're a vendor, you're stuck on the vendor hall, you're not allowed to go to social events, you're not allowed to go to sessions. And we don't want that. We want everybody to feel as though they're part of that community and we're solving problems together. And so we have vendors are allowed to go to sessions. We encourage them to go to sessions. We have some dedicated vendor time. But one of the things that we did this year to try to make sure people took advantage of some of that dedicated vendor time is we have gone all out on our theme, which is Game On. And we have brought in a giant Pac-Man game. So it's going to be like the one at Dave & Buster's where 4 people are power playing against each other on a giant screen and everybody can watch. And the only way you get to play Pac-Man and take down your fellow ed techers is to visit the vendor hall. And for every 5 booths that you visit, you get a free play on the Pac-Man machine. So when you come in and register for the conference, you pick up your name badge, you'll pick up a Pac-Man card with places for 20 punches on it. And you can just get your punches, come over and play Pac-Man. It'll be open for 4 hours both days. And there's a dedicated staff member that'll be doing it there. And so I just think it's going to be a really fun opportunity to, build some memories with people that you care about, and create rivalries that may or may not need to be in existence. So, but that'll be both days, Monday afternoon and then Tuesday, just before, I think it starts around lunchtime on Tuesday. So.
Yeah.
One of the things, full disclosure, and I've been at this game a decent amount of time now. When I go into the vendor hall, one of the things I would do is kind of beeline through, maybe occasionally get some swag and all that. But I was always afraid to have conversations with the vendors because they're trying to sell me something. One of the things I found a lot of value in recent years is having conversation with vendors in the vendor halls, telling them my pain points, telling them what's going on, the ideas that they end up sharing and solutions that they end up sharing. You can make your own amalgamation of those pieces and put them together, use a lot of pieces parts. But I do encourage you, if you're somebody that was like me in the past, where you didn't engage with vendors, the vendor hall is a great place to go. I just did a cheap plug. I did a podcast recently with John LeBlanc from Corporate Counsel. We had a great conversation about House Bill 96 and cybersecurity and what this year looks like. Your vendors are going to be people that are dealing with lots of the problems that you're having and have solutions for you and ideas that you can bring back to your district. So do have those conversations as well. It's a nice enhancement to what you're doing in sessions. So make sure that you're engaging.
And Sean, I'll also toss out, we've turned vendors away this year. So we're very particular to make sure that the people that we let present at our conference, yes, they're paying us for that opportunity. And if they weren't paying us, we'd have to charge a lot more for attendees to come to the conference. So we're very grateful for them. But they either were one app was on scary apps. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but unless you fix these issues that I've outed you on scary apps, I'm not going to take your money and have you, look like hypocrites. So we're very particular. We've got a huge number of new vendors this year because of the reputation of the conference, which is really exciting. I know one of them is Canva. And Erica probably knows more of the other ones, and she's the one that deals with all the vendor registrations. But it's nice to get some of these folks come out. I think CyberNut is one of our sponsors. I don't think they were there last year. So lots of really cool things, but we do vet our vendors and make sure that they are good partners and somebody that can help you and have those good conversations with you and that actually care about education in Ohio, not just trying to sell a product.
Yeah. And I'll shout out a couple of our other sponsors in here too. We have Bytespeed is joining us, ClassLink, Xerox IT Solutions, Prodigy Education, and Class Dojo, who recently signed DPA as well and are doing that work that Stacy was talking about being the example of protecting student privacy, being a great vendor and a great partner with schools.
Speakers are always a key to conferences for me. I think they frame up a lot of times, they set a theme, and a lot of times they get me excited, set a tone, a vibe. What can you tell us about our keynote speakers this year?
They're amazing to start. That's the first thing I will say. We are so fortunate to have two just absolute powerhouse speakers joining us. We have Marlo Gaddis, who has been a part of COSIN for a number of years, and we have Tom Burton, who was he a superintendent? I'm sorry, Stacy, in Ohio.
Yeah.
So his name may be familiar to you if you've worked with him. He has a lot of connections across Ohio. They're both speaking about leadership. Tom's session is called The Leadership Spellbook, Casting a Vision for EdTech Excellence, which is, I think, just perfect for this time of year, perfect for what we're working through right now. And Marlo's keynote is called The Leadership We Need. Culture is the strategy. And she really looks at how a culture of a school, building a district really is what's important to everything that we do as ed tech leaders. And I'll let Stacy fill in anything else.
Yeah, the two things I'll add. So, opening before Tom is going to be Chantel Manahan. She is a COSIN board member and CTO in Indiana. So she's going to be doing a OH Talks, which is our cheap way of getting a TED style talk on our stage without having to pay the licensing fee. So she'll be opening for Tom. And then Brian Drost will be opening for Marlo. So I'm really excited that we have some local talent that's opening for these folks as well. And the thing I'll add, first of all, huge Marlo fan. Ever since I was a tech director in Medina over a decade ago, big Marlo fan. She's knows her stuff. But I get asked, like, why do you have a former superintendent coming and talking at your conference? Like, isn't your target audience mostly, ed tech professionals and tech directors and CTOs? And absolutely it is. But we recognize at the EdTech Leaders Alliance how essential it is that your superintendent understands the work that you're doing. Superintendents generally don't come from the technology strand. They generally don't understand cybersecurity and data privacy. And they hear from a curriculum director that you said, no, somebody can't use this app. And they want to know why you think you can make those decisions and things. And you're just trying to protect student data. And so we really want to have as many opportunities for superintendents to feel like there's something in this conference for them, even if they come for just a day or half a day, so that they can sit in on some of these sessions with you and see the work that you're doing and understand when you go to them for resources or time, or budget time comes up, they feel like, oh, I understand why he's asking for this or why she needs this support right now. So that's why we have such a great speaker and Tom come in as a former superintendent in the area.
And you think about the past 2 years in particular, so much policy has been coming our way that now directly impacts the superintendent with regards to technology. With Senate Bill 29 and House Bill 96, those are pieces that are mandates now for school districts. Our roles and our linkage in that leadership is so much more now than it's been in the past. I think this is a great opportunity for us to be collaborating further in how we're shaping the future of school districts. As far as the conference goes, we have network opportunities, we have workshops, things like that. What other opportunities do we want to shout out that we haven't had a chance to say something about?
I'll throw a couple things out. Are you okay if I do that, Erica? Lunch is included both days. There's snacks, hot, fresh food all day long. We really want to treat you like you probably don't get treated every day in your job. So there's lots of everything's shut down. There's no sessions during lunch. The vendor hall's there during lunch. So come grab a lunch. Last year, it's Ohio, it's the fall. You don't know what you're going to get. Last year, the weather was absolutely amazing. We were able to eat our lunch outside. We have fire pits and cornhole going on in the evening. So people were sitting outside having nice conversations by the fire pits, but really joining in on that lunch and sitting with folks is great. And then on one of the days, and I think it's Monday, but correct me if I'm wrong, Erica, we have some tables set aside for our Ohio Seatles. Because if you don't know this, Ohio has more Seatles than any other state in the US. Thank you, Mike Doherty. Over 10% of the Seatles in the US are from Ohio. And so we have some tables set aside so the Seatles can have their lunch together. And then our new Seatles get awards. And so that all happens at lunch on Monday as well.
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Thank you. I like it when Erica corrects me because that means it's right.
Just because Monday there's a lot going on with the workshops and the sessions that kind of overlap different times. So our Tuesday lunch is more everybody goes to lunch together. So we wanted to make sure everyone had that opportunity at lunch. Um, I also wanted to add, so Stacy talked a lot about our vendors and how lovely they are and how they participate with us throughout the event. We also want people to engage with them in meaningful ways, like Sean was talking about, like not being shy to go up to them in the vendor hall. So we, outside of the Pac-Man, also created a couple of social networking events inside of the vendor hall this year. On Monday evening from 5 to 7, it's a vendor hall reception. You can get drinks, you can walk around, you can talk to the vendors. Before our big social, well, they're both big. Before our lit social, where it's lit because it's glowing, our theme is Let's Glow Crazy. So, if you have some neon colors, if you have some glow sticks, we may provide some for you. We have planned to do that. We have Ohio's own DJ Dale, a local educator slash DJ spinning the tunes. So we'll start in the vendor hall. Everyone will get to talk to all their vendors, get what they need for their school, grab a bite to eat for dinner, and then just come dance it off on the dance floor with your glow sticks and DJ Dale. And then on Tuesday, after the CETA lunch that Stacy mentioned, we're also having dessert in the vendor hall together before we do our last sessions and conclude for the day. If you have not been to the Ohioan, it used to be called Nationwide, they have just remarkable desserts. And so we were like, why not have one of the best parts of the conference, the dessert, take place in one of the best places at the conference, the vendor hall? So really hoping that those organic, wonderful conversations with vendors are happening in non don't be intimidated, non-intimidating, just conversational ways where you can see what they have to offer, get to talk to them and learn what they're doing, and to
And
dance on the
Erica,
dance floor with them.
there's also one more thing popping at the conference that we haven't talked about. And that is Learn 21 EdTech Leaders Alliance bought its own popcorn machine so that we could bring it to the conference and make fresh popcorn. So you'll see Learn 21 and EdTech Leaders Alliance staff members wearing a red and white striped apron with the appropriate headgear, manning the popcorn booth so that you can have free, fresh, hot popcorn throughout the day because nothing smells better than popcorn. And as much as we love the Ohioan, they've been great partners with us. We asked them if they had a popcorn machine we could rent. They were like, it's broken. Just call so-and-so popcorn and buy some popcorn already popped. And then you can just, have people come and with cups and get it out. And we were like, but then you don't have the smell of fresh popcorn. So we bought our own popcorn machine. So that will be over by the Pac-Man actually, so that people can play and people can watch and eat their popcorn.
One of the best things about this conference for me has always been the professional learning and the ability to network and relax. And those things can go together. We're in go positions. And I think that's the nice part about this conference. It helps, especially this time of the year, it helps reinvigorate me for the school year, as we're going on. So I'm looking forward to this opportunity. Is there anything we haven't touched on today that we really should hit on as far as the conference? We've got a lot going on at this one this year, and it's exciting. So is there anything else that we've missed?
You know what? I will add one little thing. So one of our schedule changes. So if you were there last year, I believe our social event ended at 10. A lot of people, there is a restaurant pub on site there at the Ohioan, and a lot of people went over there, and that closed at 10:30, so we got kicked out. And then a bunch of people ended up in the parking lot trying to figure out what do I do. People my age were thinking you could just go to bed, but apparently that wasn't an option for a lot of people. So ended up in some Ubers and found Irish pub to hang out at a little bit. And so we've actually moved our social events much later. So on Monday night, we do have a social outs. I call it social hour, but I think it's 2 hours long in the vendor hall after the sessions are over. Pac-Man will be going on and all of that stuff. Then there's a break for dinner where folks can grab something. And then we have our evening DJ Dale coming in. So we'll run a little bit later at night with 2 evening socials there on Monday night to keep people from having to feel like they need to hop in an Uber or figure out what to do in a parking lot at 11 o'clock at night. So again, and I will say kudos because everybody that was out in that parking lot was at keynote at 8 o'clock in the morning. So that's awesome.
It
And then
is real.
because I'm a nerd, oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say it is really nice to be able to do everything on the site of the conference where you're at. Sometimes it's nice to be able to get there, park, and just start just enjoying everything right there. So I really appreciate that aspect of the conference as well.
And I was going to just say, because I'm a nerd, some of the things that we haven't touched on that I think are lovely to touch on too. We've mentioned that there's lots on SB 29, student data privacy, cybersecurity, but I would be remiss to tell you, like, we also have a lot on AI that's appropriate and applicable to EdTech leaders and things that we're dealing with in the classroom right now and at our schools. And something that I've been really excited about just personally, I come from a school counseling background in educational technology, is there's more sessions than I have seen in former years on digital wellness and looking out for student and educator wellness around digital devices and what that looks like and using our screens in meaningful ways because there is a conversation too around screens are terrible and that's not the case. It's what you're using your screen for and engaging in those things. So I think there's some really great pertinent topics to what we're seeing day to day in our classrooms and in our schools too. That should hopefully be very engaging for everybody.
I encourage you to make sure that you do spread yourself out among sessions because it is a lot of times our jobs can feel very myopic, especially with the fact that we have certain topics that we're focused on. And I love the fact that this conference offers those other pieces as well because it's if you're very focused on cybersecurity in your district right now, it's nice to be able to set foot in some of the other avenues of what we do, just so that way you feel like your position's well rounded and the work that you're doing is well rounded. So those opportunities are really exciting for me as well.
Yeah, and I forgot one more thing. Sorry. So our ETLA conference is powered by Learn 21, and there will be a lot of opportunities for schools to talk to Learn 21 at the conference. We have sessions throughout where you can engage. We have office hours where you can just drop in if you've been having any questions about a product maybe you use from Learn 21 with TDT or Edwise. You can drop into those office hours. And we also have TEC, Rayma is joining us as well, and we will have SDPC office hours where if you have questions about apps or things that are happening data privacy wise, where maybe you don't need a session necessarily, like you understand the general ideas, but you want to talk to someone one-on-one, we'll have those opportunities available for you at the conference as well.
Anything
Question
else?
from Angie in the chat. Are the office hours on the agenda, Erica?
They sure are, yes.
Oh,
so
great.
yeah. So we have SDPC office hours. I think it's called office hours or Q&A or both. I might have been being creative. And then the Learn 21 developer office hours should just be called that, Learn 21 developer office hours. And if those times don't work for you, like find someone from Learn 21 and we'll find a time to talk to you too. Like this is a great time just to pin us down in person.
Say.
Oh, sorry.
Just stop by. Yeah, I was going to say just stop by the popcorn machine. So.
We'll get you someone.
The other thing I will add is the data privacy office hours, SB 29 office hours. Those are for anybody that's there at the conference. You do not have to be an EdTech Leaders Alliance member. We're well over 400 districts in the state are EdTech Leaders Alliance members right now, and we get more signing up literally every single day. But if you're visiting and you have data privacy questions, we have a lot of people coming from out of state. And so don't worry about being an ETLA member. If you have a data privacy question, stop in the office hours and chat to folks.
They're incredibly knowledgeable because of the fact that really this group was on the forefront of moving forward with student data privacy. And I feel like I'm in a better place because of the association with it. So definitely, if you have not interacted in any way, highly recommend you make some time to do that, just so that way you benefit from that experience as well. Is there anything else about this conference that we haven't shouted out?
The only thing I can think of. Oh, go ahead, Stacy, and then
I was just gonna
mine's like a
say,
good closer.
oh, good, because I was just gonna say, pray to the rain god or whatever you need to that we have nice weather because it was so beautiful last year. So
And the
And
facility is very beautiful for that. I mean,
they
it's
do.
if
It's
you
nice.
did not go last year, it is a beautiful facility. You're in for a treat.
Thanks, Sean. For years we were at the student union at the Ohio State University, which was a great facility, but it was open to the public. Lots of students were in there, and lunch was here's a Buckeye card and go grab lunch in the cafeteria. And it didn't provide for the social opportunities that we have at this new space. We're very close to outgrowing it, and we want to be here as long as we can. I go to, as I mentioned earlier, I go to a lot of conferences. Conference fruits typically is terrible. It is not here. The food is really good. The desserts are off the rails. And it's just everything's in one place. Park your car for free and just hang out for 2 days or 2.5 if you come for Top Golf first. And by the way, I don't even golf. I just enjoy going because of hanging out with the people. So Erica, you said you had a good closer.
I do. So the only thing I would add outside of all the great information that's been shared today is there's still time to register. So if you
Mm-hmm.
if you have not registered yet, if you are one of those people who a deadline helps motivate you, I mean, we don't really have one because you can still show up at the conference and attend as long as you pay us. So come with a credit card or a check if that's your plan. But if you'd like to get that taken care of now, you can do so at learn21.org/conference. Please register for the conference. Hopefully we've shared some of the great reasons why we hope you attend, why you'll have some FOMO if you don't attend. You'll be hearing about it throughout the year from your pals at neighboring school districts. You'll be like, man, I wish I was there to get that in person or to get that resource that Sean was talking about, or to ask my question that's been burning in the back of my mind for 2 months and I keep forgetting to ask. So please join us. We can't wait to see you. Every year we just continue to make more connections and bring in more folks across the state and across the Midwest and grow this thing that is the ETLA, the EdTech Leaders Alliance. And we can't wait to see you there.
If you're there and you watch this, say hello, because
Yeah.
I'd certainly love to meet anybody. I love that part of the conference. So that to me is part of the joy of this.
Awesome.
Thanks, Sean.
Well, yeah,
Well,
Sean, thank you so much for sharing
thank you
your
both for.
perspective too on the conference.
Yeah.
And we hope you enjoyed, and reach out if you have questions. And we can't wait to see you there. Thanks, everyone.